Coming up on the season finale of Flashtalk, we have a special edition of a fireside chat with Vice President and Kent State Athletic Director Randale Richmond. We talked to both Kent State basketball coaches Rob Senderoff and Todd Starkey ahead of their holiday break and MAC play. And finally, Kent State Gymnastics Coach Brice Biggin sits down with myself to talk about their past successes and what to expect this upcoming season. All that and more coming up in a flash. Welcome to a new segment on this special edition in our season finale of Flash Talk Fireside Chats with Vice President and Kent State Athletic Director Randale Richmond. Randale, appreciate you joining me, and we'll begin with the house settlement right now for the NCAA. For those that don't know at home, tell the viewers what that is right now and what's going on.
Yeah, basically the NCAA was going through a number of lawsuits where they kept getting sued for what some were deeming antitrust violations. So the Power Five conferences got together and they decided to settle with the House versus the NCAA case. And ultimately, that meant that $2.8 billion was going to be going back into the hands of student athletes from roughly 2016 to 2023. Now, what that means moving forward is that there's other parameters around the House settlement where there's certain roster limits that we will now have to adhere to for those institutions who opt in to the settlement. So if you weren't party to the settlement, you can opt into the settlement. And that has a number of things that will be large changes for the institution, Kent State, as well as other institutions at large.
Now, is there a timeline, Randale, for when this is going to be incorporated?
Yeah, time waits for no man, and same for the House settlement. So it's going to be effective immediately fall of 2025. Right now, Judge Collier Wilkin has preliminarily accepted the parameters of the House settlement. We haven't seen all the details yet, but one thing that we have heard and that we do know, there won't be a ramp-up period. This will be something, if approved, somewhere around April 7th, I believe is the date. Okay. That is when fall 25, these new provisions will go into place.
Tell us, what are some of the highlights recently that you'd like to mention that have been happening within Kent State Athletics right now?
So just focused on what's next, you forget all the things that we've been able to do in our short time here together. And last year in particular was really a remarkable year. Well, we've been explaining to people we had 10 championship opportunities. That means 10 of our 19 teams had an opportunity to win a conference championship last year. When you look at a sport like track and field, our men won the indoor track and field championship last year. That was the first time in 15 years, only the second time ever. You know, we had our women's basketball team. That's the ring I'm donning today. Our women's basketball team, their first championship in 22 years. So of those 10 opportunities, we got 5 championships. Gymnastics is a little bit unique where they don't win a conference championship. It's really based off of what they do throughout the entire year. Again, they were an NCAA qualifying team last year, tied for the first in a regular season. And then you have our women's outdoor championship for track and field. And that was the first time both the men and the women have ever won a championship in the same year in Kent State history. And last but definitely never least is our women's golf program, who have a quarter century of dominance and excellence, winning their 25th MAC championship in a row. And I always like to say there's only been 25 MAC championships ever in the sport of women's golf. So you have what's happening out there on the playing surface, but also what we're doing in the classroom. And I give a lot of credit to our coaches for the student athletes that they're recruiting, our academic staff for helping those students in their path along the way, and our students for being so diligent. We had our highest GPA ever in Kent State history. As a matter of fact, last fall, every team, all of our 19 teams, had over a 3.0 cumulative GPA. That has never happened before at Kent State University. And then lastly, we talk about graduate student athletes boldly prepared for life after sport and win championships. We have student athletes who are boldly prepared for life after sport. Of our 85 graduates last year, 95% of them had a job placement rate. We had a 95% job placement rate. What that means is, of those 85 graduates, 95% of them either got a full-time job immediately, were admitted to graduate school, or had professional opportunities. That's just amazing with what we're doing, because that's the purpose that's bigger than ourselves, helping our student athletes be boldly prepared for what comes next.
What are you most excited for in the future of Kent State Athletics?
The future is bright. There's so much change happening with the House settlement, so much change in the NCAA, and guess what? It has changed, and it's not going back. So we've been challenging our coaches and our staff to not look at the things that we believe we've lost in the new direction of the NCAA, but look at all the grand opportunities that are out there for us to capitalize on, because we still have a same foundational purpose. We're going to bring young people into higher education, giving them opportunity to become their holistic selves and have a great experience and a great success after they leave this institution. That's still foundationally an amazing, great privilege that we all have. So what are the opportunities for us to grow in whatever the new structures are? Are there opportunities that you're hearing from your colleagues, opportunities that you're hearing at large, opportunities that we can come up with together to realize that we can support such a great and noble purpose?
Randale, Richmond on our Flashtalk season finale. Randale, we always appreciate the time.
Always, brother. Thank you.
As you know, Kent State Athletics, our basketball team has historically been a huge part of our athletic department. We have a winning tradition. We always bring a great game. But in today's day and age, the basketball game itself isn't going to entice the average fan. We really need to come over the top. We need to do these exciting things like they do in professional sports. And without sponsors or partners like Ken Ganley, we wouldn't be able to afford to do like tonight, the esports night with the Ken Ganley game room. Also being able to do the $10,000 putt at halftime that they're supporting. So those types of things help us advertise and get out into the community and maybe reach people who are not just the average basketball fan. They also help us out off the court. So many of our faculty, our staff, and our coaching know that they can go to Ken Ganley Chevrolet, get themselves a vehicle in a short amount of time without having to shop everywhere. They're so important to us on so many levels that we're just so grateful that they're a part of our family, and I don't know how we would live without them.
Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff, Coach Sendy. Once again, we always appreciate the time. We'll first touch on that nice win over Portland, a good second half. You guys defensively, just your overall thoughts on that nice home victory.
Yeah, certainly the second half, I thought we played well on both ends of the floor. Defensively, we were pretty good all night. You know, trying to continue to get better. It was great to see a number of guys contribute in that game. Offensively, great to see some shots fall, certainly in the second half, because coming back from the trip in Canada, we had struggled to shoot the ball. So great second half in terms of, offensively being able to see a lot of shots go through the basket, and a good team win for us. So trying to keep getting better as the season moves on and as we head into league play. And certainly happy with how we played that game.
Your team had a number of double-digit scorers in that victory, but specifically your 2 point guards, Sion Medley and Wap Sumlin, played particularly well in the offensive end. What is his offensive game? How is that developing in his sophomore year?
Well, one thing is, you can't take too much from that trip offensively. I don't think any team shot the ball very well. So Sion's a guy who works really hard in the gym. He gets shots before or after almost every single practice we have. And I think confidence, just like for a lot of guys, just getting your confidence back is big. And I'm sure the first basket that he made, there was probably a little bit of relief for him. He had a good night offensively. He also had 6 assists on the night. And then Jamal Sumlin came in, and he's really provided a ton of energy for us in a lot of ways, but he kept the ball alive a number of times on the offensive glass and was able to make a couple big threes to help our team, and just happy for him. Happy for all these guys in that game. I think we had 4 double-figure scorers, and Morgan didn't score double figures, but he had 11 rebounds. So a lot of guys are able to contribute to our team's success.
On the ESPN Plus broadcast against Portland, Rigo Gillespie was our player to watch going in that game. He had a nice trip in Canada, and then he also gets into double-digit points against Portland. How important is his development, knowing that you have someone behind Claron at that center position?
Around this time last year is when he started to play well, and then got hurt and missed, conference play. So to see him, sort of getting better and better each and every night, I think it's great for him. It's certainly great for our team to have another front court player that can score at the basket. He's another guy like Jamal who brings tremendous energy. And as the season goes on, he won't just play, he'll play with Claron as well. And you'll see a lineup with both of them on the court more and more as the season moves on. So we're still working on that. And I think as the year continues to move forward, you'll see that more and more. Maybe not every night, but certainly on a number of occasions, you'll see the two of them on the court together because Rico just keeps getting better and better.
You're back in action on Sunday against a Mercyhurst team. What can Flashes fans expect in that one?
Yeah, this is their first year Division I, playing in the NEC, and they've been very, very competitive so far in their first year. And I think what you see is a lot of these teams that were really good Division II. Well, you see it with players. A lot of really good Division II players are going Division I and playing very well, and a lot of good Division II teams can compete with Division I teams. So they've had this transition here this year, being their first year Division I, and they've been very competitive all throughout the season. So it's going to be a tough battle for our guys. Coming off a week of finals week, we have some days off here during the week. We had the weekend off and then another couple days off for finals, and we're going to need to bring tremendous energy and competitive spirit on Sunday afternoon.
You've talked in non-conference about how big those Auburn and Alabama games were to really get a sense of where your team is. Now that you have a little bit more of an identity, what do you expect in that Alabama game?
They play with tremendous pace. The Kennesaw State team that we played up in Canada, their coach was an assistant for Nate at Alabama, so similar style. So that part, we'll be excited for that opportunity and certainly ready, but they have an elite team, one of the top 10 teams in the country, and it's always exciting for our program to get an opportunity to play some of the elite teams and elite programs in the country. So we've played a couple really, really good teams so far this year, and I know our guys will be excited to get that one going too.
Back in the Mack Center this upcoming Sunday against Mercyhurst. Coach, thanks for the time.
All right, great, thanks.
Golden Flashes fans, this is men's basketball coach Rob Senderoff. At Kent State, we're building champions both on and off the court. In order to keep our winning tradition on the court, we need your support of the Blue and Gold Collective. Now more than ever, we need you to be our sixth man.
Flash family, make sure to play the Blue and Gold Collective 50-50 raffle. And when you play, the Golden Flashes win.
Support the Blue and Gold Collective and help our Flashes soar.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court, when you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels, our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game. With expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Welcome back to our Flashtalk studios. Dane Richardson joined alongside Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Coach, appreciate you joining me. And you just had your blue and gold meet. Tell me a little bit about how that went.
It's an opportunity for the girls to get out the first time in the main gym outside of the practice facility. We put them in front of a little bit of an audience. They get in front of real judges. So, it's a great opportunity for them to kind of get used to the regular season. For us as coaches to kind of evaluate where we're at this particular point in time. We've got about a month left before competition begins. The girls have been practicing, seems like forever, and I know they say it's forever. But it really is the opportunity for us to kind of kick off the beginning part of the year.
You do have 2 new coaches that you added to the staff this upcoming season, so tell us a little bit about them.
Austin Phobes was a gymnast at University of New Hampshire, spent a lot of years in the private club situation, was a coach out at Bowling Green last year, and she took over as our beam coach and floor choreographer. Has done just an amazing job this year. We are super excited about what she brings to the program. Her level of expertise. The girls have really done a phenomenal job adjusting to what she wants from them. And I think we saw the success on balance beam particular yesterday in the blue and gold meet. We looked really, really solid over there. Tim Lewandowski came from Brown last year. He spent a couple years in the private club circuit too, and then also spent a couple years at Division III gymnastics. So he has a wealth of experience as well. He's doing both our floor exercise and our vault. So he's got a lot on his plate, but he comes in with tremendous energy, really good technique, is a very good spotter. So once again, like, our girls have really kind of taken to both of the new coaches. And the transition has been very easy for them.
Take me through year in and year out how you've been able to foster a culture and so much success within Kent State Gymnastics.
The founders of the program, Rudy and Janet Bachna, they kind of built the building blocks for the success of Kent State Gymnastics. You know, I was lucky where I was able to be on the team with them, both them and Terry Nesbitt, who was the men's coach at the time. But they fostered such a family feeling for the athletes here, and I think that's something that we continue to try and build on. Is, you know, it's not just come and be an athlete here. We truly want them to feel like they're part of a family here. You know, there has been good success, and I think, you know, when you have that success, girls buy into it. You know, it's not easy stuff. They understand that. They understand that, you know, they have to work hard to find success. And when you have cultured that, then I think it's easier every year for the girls to continue to buy into that. You get a group of upperclassmen, juniors and seniors who have seen the success, and they continue to cultivate that with the young girls. And so I think it just, from year to year, we've been very blessed in having great leadership in our athletes.
Can you mention some of those gymnasts that you think are ready to have a big season?
We feel like our depth is going to be really good at every class level. You know, we've got Sophia Balka, who's a little girl from West Virginia, who has come in and just learned a tremendous amount of new skills, cleaned up her skills, continuing to build on some confidence with her. Jersey Bingham, we know, is a very good gymnast out of Virginia. She's had a little bit had a couple little injuries, some things that aren't huge. I think our sophomore class made tremendous strides from last year. Dani Fuentes obviously had a phenomenal year as a freshman. Nene Alvin came in having recovered from an Achilles surgery, started competing last year, and then had a little bit of back issues where we kind of took her out for a while. She has come back in phenomenal shape, looks really good. We're really excited about the potential and the talent that she shows. Ashley Morgan, another sophomore, had a really solid competition yesterday, so she has stepped up tremendously. So, you know, if we look at all of our classes, I think the excitement that we have is we feel like we have really solid people in all four classes.
Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Coach, we look forward to watching your team soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coming up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Tix, Kent State Wrestling has their Kent State Open this Saturday on December 14th as Gardner Webb, Buffalo, and Rutgers come to town. On Sunday, December 15th, Kent State men's basketball is back in action inside the MAC against Mercyhurst for a 5 p.m. tip. And then finally on Monday, it's Mimosas at the MAC on Kids Day as Kent State women's basketball hosts Virginia University of Lynchburg. As always, you can buy your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more information on your favorite Flashes teams, visit kentstatesports.com or visit the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this.
When it comes to reaching your goals, having the right support can make all the difference. That's why we trust Green Lending, Kent State Athletics' exclusive mortgage partner, to help you achieve your home ownership dreams.
Just like on the court, everyone has a role to play. With the right teammates, any dream is possible. Green Lending is here to be that support to help you make those big moves in life.
Visit greenlending.com and let Green Lending help turn your dreams into reality.
Green Lending, helping Golden Flashes achieve their biggest dreams.
Joined by Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey once again on Flashtalk. Coach, you're here in our season finale, coming off a nice road win in Western New York over Niagara. Take me through that contest.
Before that, let's talk about the Yankees and how they got outbid by the Mets. Are we going to?
I don't think we need to talk about that. I was a little bit fired up about that. You want
to start over? You want to start over?
No, Coach Senderoff.
Coach Senderoff's a Mets fan, and I thought we were going to get that from him. But no, I mean, we're going to sign everyone else, and we're going to win another World Series. So
sounds good.
You want to talk about your team a little bit, Coach?
Yeah, let's talk about my team. We were in the state of New York, speaking of New York, against Niagara. Took the players to Niagara Falls on a 28-degree day, and then played a tough Niagara squad who pressed us for 40 minutes. We've been facing a lot of pressing teams, and it's been interesting for us. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries, as you know. I've had more starting lineups in the first 9 games than we probably have had the last 2 years combined. But I'm really proud of the way the players have stepped up. We struggled a little bit in the first half against Niagara, turned the ball over a little bit too much, and weren't great defensively, made some adjustments at halftime, and I thought we did a really good job for the last 20 minutes of the game.
And what was the message at halftime? You went into the break, I believe, only up by 1 point. Was it just to get your players to relax a little bit because they seemed a lot more composed?
Well, we didn't guard anybody in the first half. We gave up straight line drives and layups. The biggest thing was to kind of ask them to hold the mirror up to their face, and did they feel like they were doing what they needed to defensively on the ball. I think they took that to heart. They responded, played better as that 20 minutes, the second 20 minutes were played out. Offensively, we were pretty efficient, scoring 89 points. I thought we did a good job of handling the press and scoring up the floor. I think we only ran one half-court set the whole game because it was just kind of organized chaos.
Run and jump all the time.
And so they did a good job adjusting to it. We found a way to get the win and really finished with only 6 or 7 healthy players at the end of that game, and they were finding ways to win. This group has been through. I mean, we always talk about what real adversity is, and it's not basketball. But as far as basketball adversity, we've faced a ton, and I'm really proud of the way the players have responded and continued to fight through.
Defensively, you went to a 2-3 zone almost exclusively in that second half. Can you tell me why you made that adjustment?
One of the biggest reasons was because we were struggling to guard the ball. I mean, Niagara's got some quick guards, and we're getting downhill on us. And they really play 4 guards and a wing. And against our more traditional lineup with 2 bigs, we felt like playing the zone was a little bit better. We had the perimeter guarded a little bit better. We were a lot more connected in that defense, and I thought we rebounded well out of it. So made the adjustment, and it's also kind of shaping up that we're going to be a versatile defensive team, and teams are going to have to prepare for multiple defenses as we move into conference play.
Finals week right now, so the players get a little bit of rest. Do you think that's helpful for teams around the country, and what does that do for this year's team?
Yeah, I don't know what it does for other teams, but for us, it gives us a little chance to breathe. I mean, we had a tough non-conference schedule. I thought we navigated it with what we had fairly well, and this gives us a little bit of rest. Hopefully, the opportunity to get some players healthy and maybe some players back as we move into next week and into the Christmas week, which gives us even more rest. So we'll kind of see how we handle the rest of December. It's kind of a choppy schedule, and then all of it is to prepare us for what proves to be a tough and competitive Mid-American Conference schedule.
December 16th, you guys play Virginia Lynchburg at home. That's Kids Day, so there will be a lot of kids in the building. Nice little mimosas at the Mac thing going on in the morning. Just what does those type of games do for your team?
We have to be prepared for every competition we're in. It's certainly not a game that we're taking lightly. I think it's going to be a great event. We love having the kids out in the community. A couple thousand screaming elementary school kids here in the MAC is always exciting for our players, and then the event that the marketing department and advancement's doing with the mimosas in the MAC should be a lot of fun. So hope people will come out and really enjoy that. Look that up online and see what that schedule looks like. I will not be having any mimosas on the sideline, but I know everybody will be having a good time with that and in the Christmas spirit. And then we obviously segue going into our trip down to Baltimore to play a tough Coppin State team.
Kent State women's basketball head coach Todd Starkey. Coach, we always appreciate the time.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
That'll do it for our season finale on Flash Talk. Make sure you tune into the start of next season in the third week of January, as we'll be in the heart of MAC play for Kent State men's and women's suit. For Ethan Lachinsky, Justin Spots, and our entire GFTV crew, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes.
Today, the world could use a little more understanding. Understanding nurtured by shared values. We come together at Kent State. Different dreams, different viewpoints, united by purpose. Preparing to make a difference in our divided world. Wherever you are in your life's journey, come learn with us. Begin at Kent State.